8 months ago, something pretty crazy happened. One night way back in October, my brother and I were having a conversation over dinner with our dad, and we had somehow gotten on the topic of Yu-Gi-Oh! And as we're talking about this, my dad suddenly remembered that he actually had some packs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards at his house that he had bought many, many years ago. And I believe he said he intended them to be like a gift for us at some point, but had just ultimately forgotten about it over the years. And as soon as we hear this, both me and my brother just could not believe it. Instantly, we're asking questions like, do you know what set they're from? Do you know what the pack art looks like? How old are these packs? How many years ago exactly do you think you bought these? Because we could potentially be talking about some very, very rare and expensive packs here. And of course, right, he doesn't know what set they're from. He doesn't remember what the name on the pack was. He doesn't remember really what they look like because it's been so long since he's found them. But if one thing's for certain, is that he had to have bought them at least 12 plus years ago. Which has us pretty shocked because the potential of those packs being from some very, very rare and vintage set is a very high possibility at this point. So once we know all of this, we're like, you gotta bring these over, you gotta find them as soon as possible so we can uncover them, get a good look at them, and see exactly what we're working with. And as the excitement spreads around the room, he says, I'll find them as soon as I possibly can. He's gonna have to dig them out, but as soon as he finds them, he'll bring them over. And sure enough, he's back over here in a few days with a mysterious shopping bag. He sets it down on the table, and I take a peek inside to see 4 sealed blister packs. And as I pull one of those packs from the bag, I notice the brilliant gold foiling, and the artwork of the pack features End of Anubis, Blackluster Soldier, and the Dark Magician of Chaos. And below I read Dark Revelation 2, and I just absolutely start to freak out. And right away, I jump on TCG Player to check the set list and to see what the most expensive cards in this set were. And I believe at the time it was BLS, DMOC, and Chaos Emperor Dragon. And rightfully so, these are some of the most infamous and iconic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. And from there, I jump over to eBay to try to find, how much the sealed packs are going for because I couldn't find any on TCG Player. And after a little bit of searching around, we came to the conclusion that each pack was roughly about $50 to $60. So already it's just like, what an incredible find. And I went and did a little bit more research to find that the set actually released on October 20th, 2005. And at that point, I would have been about 7 years old. And to make things more interesting, the set's 15-year anniversary was only just a few days away. Like, what are the odds of that? And the moment all of that sank in, I quickly realized that I have this amazing community that I need to share this with. So I immediately make a tweet sharing a photo of the packs, the story behind them. And sure enough, it quickly becomes my most liked tweet of all time. And after a little bit of deliberation between me, my brother, and my dad, we quickly come to the conclusion that yes, keeping these packs sealed probably is the best idea, but where's the fun in that? All right, so in front of us we have 4 completely sealed blister packs of Dark Revelation Volume 2. All right, so we've got one pack right there, and let's just see what we can get out of this first pack here. And I think behind this will be our next card, and we have a rare here. We have Stealth Bird. Ooh, my hands are shaking just a little bit. And then our next card is Mazera DeVille as an ultra rare. All right, this is definitely a classic right there. Let's go ahead and crack our third pack of Dark Revelation Volume 2. Vampire Lady, and I believe our holo will be after this. Oh my god! The Dark Magician of Chaos! I am absolutely shaking right now. This is insane. This card. So just to help people understand how crazy this whole thing was, You need to understand the difference between an older set like Dark Revelation 2 and most modern sets of Yu-Gi-Oh! In Dark Revelation 2, you weren't guaranteed a foil in any given pack. The set had 200 cards and consisted of commons, rares, super rares, and ultra rares, where most of your big chase cards were. So the chance of me pulling 2 ultra rares in just 4 packs has to be so astronomically low. While editing that video, I was curious to see if there were any other videos on YouTube showing somebody pulling the DMOC from DR2, and to my surprise, I could not find anything after days of searching. So not only did we have amazing pulls, but we also had the first ever DMOC pull from DR2 on YouTube, which looking back, of course, is really, really awesome. And after all the dust settled, I was trying to find out what to do with these cards, right? Not only were these absolutely incredible pieces of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, but these cards were in fantastic condition, being that they were just pulled from a pack. I really, really wanted to do something that would solidify this memory and, you know, protect the cards in the process, right? You know, do something that would make them more than just a couple of random cards. And sending them off to Beckett for grading, in my mind, was the only way that I was going to be able to do that. Now, what exactly is card grading? It's a service offered by third-party companies such as PSA, BGS, and CGC, where they look over cards with a high level of scrutiny. Now, there are typically 4 subcategories the cards are usually judged upon, and they are centering, corners, edges, and surface. And the better any given card scores in those categories, the better overall grade it will be awarded, and the overall grade is usually on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute best. And exclusively to Beckett is the Black Label 10, which is a card that virtually has 0 flaws, and it is awarded a 10 on each subcategory. And very, very few cards have ever been awarded that elusive Black Label 10, so if you ever get one, consider yourself extremely lucky. And I want to say about 3 days or so after I pulled those cards, I was back and forth on whether or not I should actually send them out for grading, because I knew it would be a long time before I got them back because of the recent, you know, craze surrounding trading cards, causing a lot of grading companies to be severely backed up. But I thought to myself, you know, the sooner I send them out, the sooner I'll get them back. So off they went and the wait began. Then just like that, 8 months go by until I receive an email that tells me my cards have been shipped and they're on their way back home. And from there on out, every day that passed after that, my anticipation and excitement grew more and more than I could possibly contain. And then just a few short days later, the package finally showed up at my door, and I was more than ready to crack it open to see my cards on the inside and see what grade they had gotten. You know, even in the few hours leading up to me actually opening up that box, I was on eBay looking up Beckett 9.5s and 10s, you know, to seeing where my cards would fall based on the original pictures I had taken. I knew they would grade well, but how well exactly, that was the real question. And here we are at the end of a very, very long 8-month journey. And right here in front of me, I have the box in which the graded cards are in. I just got this from FedEx today, and my heart is literally racing as I'm sitting here getting ready to do this. So we do have the double camera angle this time around, and I've never ever opened a package like this from a grading company. I do own graded cards, but I've never actually submitted any of my own cards that have graded, so this is a first. These are from Beckett, of course, as we already know, but I just want to show, for those that might be familiar with PSA, what those slabs may look like, because here I have a Palkia and Dialga Legends set in PSA 9 that I did get for my birthday. So those are what those look like. I'm personally a fan of the Beckett slabs a bit more, but this is it. This is crunch time. It all comes down to this, and I'm going to open the seal here. Obviously, I put tape over the top of it to hide any information, but I'm going to try to not spoil it here for myself, and I think they're going to be at the top of this box here on the inside. Now, I did also get some Pokemon cards graded. I don't know if I've mentioned that at this point in the video yet. So we're gonna go over the Pokemon cards first. I haven't looked yet. I just want you to tell me which ones are the Pokemon cards. Like, are they the ones closest to you or on the other side? Don't pull them all the way out. All right.
I just saw the subgrades. Holy fuck.
All right, so like I said, we're gonna start with the Pokemon cards first. And we're gonna pull the first one out here. Now, the way these are is that the labels themselves, the color of them will determine what the actual grade is. Yeah, so here we have a Pokemon card. This is a Shining Rayquaza, and it is a Beckett 8.5. Now, for these Pokemon cards, I did have a bit lower expectations when it comes to what they would have gotten for a grade, because they weren't like pack fresh cards. I did actually buy them out of the case from my local card store, but there we go, a silver label 8.5 Shining Rayquaza from the Shining Legends set in 2017. Rayquaza is a favorite of mine, as I'm sure it is a favorite of most of the people watching right now. And yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't want to touch the front of it too much because I don't want to get it all smudged. But that looks absolutely beautiful. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the next card here, which is a Shining Mew from the same set. And I need to do a better job at covering the actual color of the label here, because last time I didn't do such a good job. So here is the Shining Mew. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look, and we have a Mint 9 on this one, which is obviously just a step above of the Rayquaza. Now this card, honestly, I thought that the Rayquaza looks slightly a bit better, but as we can see here, because these cards do have something called subgrades, which you can choose to get on your cards or not. And we see here, this one had a 10 for edges and a 10 for corners, but managed to only get 8.5s on both surface and centering. But those two 10s definitely carried this card. And if we take a look at this Mew here, we can see we have three 9.5s for the subgrades. And those are going to be overall much better than having the two 10s and the 8.5s, because those are going to lower it down quite a bit. So that's why this one, I believe, ended up getting the 9 over the Rayquaza. But beautiful looking card. Two of my favorite Pokemon are here. I'm pretty sure they're, massively popular. But now we're going to get to the part that we've all been waiting for. And yeah, I still can't even believe we are at the point we are at. And the first card, I believe, because I had my brother look for me so I wouldn't spoil it. The first card, I believe, is going to be the Mizera DeVille. I don't want to spoil it. So there it is. There's the back of the card. And we're going to flip it over here on the front. And there's actually, I think, like a little bit of a pamphlet or something, or I'm not sure what's there, but Hearts Racing, it really is. Let's go ahead and take a look. I still can't see it because of this pamphlet that's here or something. But let's go ahead and see, and it is a 9.5 Gem Mint Mizera DeVille from Dark Revelation 2 all the way back in 2005. This one was so close from getting that 10. So yeah, the subgrades, we have two 10s on corners and surface, and edges 9.5 and centering 9.5. So this one, again, was literally 0.5 away from getting that perfect 10, and I cannot believe it, man. That is so incredibly close. A Beckett 9.5 Gem Mint, which for those that don't know, that is about the equivalent of a PSA 10, because a PSA 10 would be labeled as Gem Mint. I think this is a receipt. So yeah, we'll take a look at the last card. The one and only that I've been waiting, I think, the most for. The Misere DeVille is great, but it's been so long since I've seen this card. And let's go ahead and take a look. It is that Dark Magician of Chaos. It feels like an old friend has finally come home. And we have a Beckett 9.5 Gem Mints. And again, we have a 10 on centering, a 10 on edges, 9.5 surface and corners. This card is so incredibly close to being a Beckett 10, which is just mind-boggling. This is a solid 9.5 because there can be varying degrees of, you know, how strong a 9.5 is, and I gotta say, this is extremely close. It is literally 0.5 away on the surface or the corners from getting that practically perfect 10. We have two Beckett 9.5 insanely rare cards from Dark Revelation 2, from those 4 packs we cracked way back in October. And I cannot believe it. And then the bonus over here, the 9 and 8.5 Pokemon cards. These cards, man, they look absolutely stunning. My expectations are far exceeded. I told myself like a month or so after I sent these cards out, I'm like, you know what? I'll take an 8. Because I was just like, I want them to be good. And this is just insane. And at the point that I'm recording this, I don't know the population reports of these cards. It is very possible that these both could be a population 1, and I'll be able to confirm that by throwing some information up on the screen. But it is very possible these could be population 1 cards. And the Dark Magician of Chaos from DR2, as we know, is definitely a bit rarer to come by than the IOC one. Oh my god, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm ecstatic. What a day, what a journey it has been. And I really appreciate you guys checking this video out. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I really hope you all enjoyed it. So please leave a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment down below on one of your most cherished cards that you've ever pulled from a pack. I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, Winter Kills signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And of course, like always, a huge shout out goes to all of the YouTube members that support this channel, and a special thanks goes to our Divine level channel members, and they are Cadillacs84 and Pony Stark. Thank you guys again so much for your continued and very generous support of the channel.